Hi everyone, this is Niki Rowland and today I am guest designing for Pretty My Page I've been given this fabulous cut file, Sugar Skull cut file to use today and I am scrapbooking a Halloween layout using a photo of my daughter with one of last year's Snapchat filters on. So this skull was perfect for that photo. So I've started off by cutting the cut file from a silver cardstock. It's like a grey but it also has a bit of a sparkle to it, I have cut it on, you can see it there still on the background, and I've also cut the outline of it, so I have one solid piece out of a black pattern paper as well. So what I've done is I've just stuck the silver to the background, and then I have turned the whole thing upside down and placed it onto my black background of my layout, and I'm adding lots and lots of flicks of Shimmers paint. So this is a silver colour, it's called No One's Chrome and is an Inklings. So I just added some water to the pot, and then I have this great lovely thick silver paint that sits really nicely on top of the black cardstock. It doesn't soak in, so I had this kind of glow coming off of the Sugar Skull. It's still upside down at the moment. I'm just adding some foam pads to the back, and I'm going to peel those off in a moment and attach that Sugar Skull to my layout, so to the background. I don't usually use a black background. This is a bit out of my comfort zone, but I do like doing Halloween layouts for this reason. They take me out of my comfort zone, and you know, they're fun, and you can kind of do something a bit different, very different from my usual style, yeah, it's just good fun really. So yeah, lots and lots of foam pads on the back there. You can see that I've got the outline of all those splatters around where the skull will go, and now my skull is in place. So now what I need to do is get all of the detail from the cut file onto the skull itself. So it's still all stuck to the mat. Designs like this mean that there's lots of bits that aren't used, and then you have lots of detail pieces that need to go in the right places. So I use the bits that aren't used as a template, so almost like a stencil. So you can see that I've placed it onto the skull, and I'm applying glue through the gaps. And then I'm picking up each of the little pieces and popping them through those gaps. And that way I make sure that all of my detail is in the right place. So I've effectively used those middle sections of the cut file as a stencil, and I will now be able to peel that away, and then I can discard that bit completely. I find this is a really good way of making sure that my detail pieces are in exactly the right place. It's, I say, a good little tip, and definitely worth doing this if you've got a cut file like this that has lots of pieces and they're hard to get in exactly the right place. So there you go, I peeled that away, and you can see there that the bits and pieces are now in the correct place. So I'm going to come back and do this with the eyes as well. These are slightly easier because they're just two pieces, so that's nice and easy, straightforward. So I'm just using a PVA glue to stick my cut file pieces in place. Yeah, so I'm just going to carry on doing that for a moment. So the collections I'm using today are a mixture really. So a mixture of last year's collections, quite a few. I had quite a few different ones. Just had a Halloween bag that I've been trying to get used up. But also I'm mixing it with the brand new lovely crepe paper Hey Pumpkin. I'm using that as well. So far the background paper for the skull is by Hey Pumpkin, and everything else is just cardstock at the moment, but I have got a number of collections that I will be using throughout this layout that are from last year. It does feel good to use up some old stash, doesn't it? I do like to mix my old bits with new ones. Quite often I don't use the old ones at all after after I've moved on, but with something like Halloween or Christmas even, I don't mind using old collections. So yeah. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Right, okay, so Sugar Skull is complete, and doesn't he look fab on there? So I've just fussy cut out some moths or butterflies. They're moths, definitely moths. They were from a very spooky collection from last year, and I happen to have quite a large piece of that pattern paper remaining. And I've cut all of those out, fussy cut those out, and I'm going to have them fluttering around the skull for maximum spookiness. Okay, so now I need to just layer up, add some more embellishments and bits and pieces. This is the main bones of my layout, all coming together, but now I need to build it up a bit. So I want to add some paper layers behind my photo. I'm trying not to add any colour, so I don't really want oranges and orange, greens, purples, you know, all the Halloween colours. I don't want those. I'm really trying to stick to black, silver and white. This is slightly tricky with the lettering, but I'll come back to that later. And then I have got, so I'm just going to add some paper layers behind my photo. Oh, and I've just found these skulls, these perspective skulls by Bramble Fox. Now, I had those from last year's Halloween sets from Bramble Fox. I just thought that this is the perfect layout to use those on. So they were just in my Halloween bag of bits from last year. So I thought, what a perfect opportunity to get those used. So I've just added those to the layout, and I'm going to get those stuck in place shortly. I have got a couple of paper layers behind my photo, so I've just mounted that photo on a creamy coloured one, and then this one is a text print, and I've torn that as well, and I'm just dressing the edges of everything as I go as well. So this layout was really not cutesy or you know, traditional Halloween witches and you know, things. So I'm trying to just stick with the really spooky stuff. I have got a torn strip of black paper there that I've just put on either side of the layout. I like my layouts to have borders, but on this occasion I didn't have any full sheets that would work. I've just torn 2 strips of black paper and put them either side of the layout. So just fiddling around, getting everything in place. Those Bramble Fox perspectives, the butterflies that are not butterflies, they're moths. And then I put a haunted house next to my daughter's face. It's kind of like a navy blue, but it's dark enough, so I'm letting it go in terms of my no colour rule. That's from Hey Pumpkin, and I've just added a moon and some stars. They are also from Hey Pumpkin. That's from the chipboard sticker sheet. So now just getting my moths stuck in place and my perspectives stuck in place. I stick mine down with glossy accents. I find that that's the best way of keeping those in place. So just getting those in place right now. And all the butterflies that are not butterflies, they're moths, are raised up on foam pads, and their wings are bent up either side as well to make sure that they look like they are fluttering in a very spooky way, of course, with this layout. So yeah, just getting those perspectives stuck in place, and my layout is coming together nicely now. It's I'm still building it up and just making sure that everything is stuck down. I do have a habit of laying everything onto my layout and then getting to a point where I need to stick everything so nothing's stuck, and then I get to a point where like, oh, I don't want to move anything because it's too complicated now to move. So I'm trying not to do that at the moment. I'm trying to make sure I remember to stick things down as I go. Okay, so moving on to a title now. So I really wanted to use these letters. They're like a bobbly black surface, but they're on orange foam, and of course I was trying not to use any colour. I've just used the word eek. So this is my exception to the rule with the colour. I've got that orange foam underneath those letters. You can barely see them actually on the final layout. So anyway, I have used the word eek underneath my daughter's photo. Now I have this is my proper title now, 31, and that is from the Hey Pumpkin the chipboard sticker sheet. So just adding in some brads. These are from one of last year's Halloween collections. I had a few left over, had some cutesy ones left over, but there was also some black ones, some silver ones and some white ones. Just getting those in place as well. So I like brads. They give like an extra texture to your layout. They're like large enamel dots effectively that don't ping off. So yeah, awesome. Right, adding some twiddles of thread now. I love my silver thread, or any silver or gold really. I love just metallic thread, just getting those stuck in place. So tucking that one under there underneath one of the moths, and then I'm going to do another one on the other side of the layout, just making sure that that is twiddling nicely. Here we go, the other one going in now. This is my favourite thread. It's a We Are Memory Keepers metallic thread. It's to go through their sewing machines actually. I really love this thread. It's definitely 100% my favourite thread. it's kind of like an oily thread. It goes really well through the machines, but also when you twiddle it, it holds its shape. So that's why it's my favourite thread. Okay, so adding some sparkles, sequins by Squiggle Mum Scraps, and just going to get all of those stuck down. So that's just a purely silver mix, and I just stick those down with glossy accents. Finally coming in now and adding a couple of lines down each edge of my layout with a white pen. So just to give a little bit of extra definition to the edge of my layout there. Okay, so I've written in also 2018. Okay, so that is my layout done. Thank you so very much for joining me today. I hope you have enjoyed that layout for Pretty My Page, and that you will head over to the store and pick up some cut files. She has some really awesome ones. Okay, thank you again for watching. That was Niki Rowland for Pretty My Page.